it's weird because when you talk about conspiracy, right, it all gets lumped into one giant umbrella, and there's stuff that there's some information behind, then there's stuff that's completely unfounded. And some of that stuff I'm thinking of actually ties into you. I mean, how do you deal with the stuff over the years that, for one, people say everyone on the Bin Laden raid died except for Rob O'Neill when they're all alive and well? Or then we got,
Yeah.
and then Trump,
Oh yeah,
I'll hammer him too,
I
truthfully
hammered him too.
retweeting that story that you
Yeah.
guys didn't kill Bin Laden, you killed the body double. Like, how do you deal with that type of crap? Because that
Well,
stuff has no evidence behind it.
it took me about a second to get a retort when they said bin Laden was a body double. I just said, well, I killed the guy who was in bed with bin Laden's wife. So either way, he had it coming. That was just going to happen. And I mean, it's so crazy. It's so crazy right now. It's like, well, I mean, they said it was him, and he looked just like him, and his kids were there, and they confirmed it, and Amal, his wife, confirmed it, and then we got the DNA, we got the pictures. I wish they'd release those damn things. And then we got back, and the three-letter agencies have professional we're eating breakfast sandwich the Army delivered us, watching President Obama say, tonight I can report to the American people and to the world, the United States conducted an operation to kill Osama bin Laden.
We don't say Obama. That's like saying Voldemort on this show, dude.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah,
but no, I mean, with the conspiracy shit, it's like I can only tell you that, like, one person saw what happened in that room, and I can tell you what happened. And if people choose not to believe me, I'm not going to change their mind because they're off their rocker. It's just, we went in and like, I mean, what upsets me is, like, they don't even give the pilots credit who flew us in. That's the most dangerous job, the most demanding job, or the air crew that's making the bird fly and then making sure the door opens and make sure everything works. If a missile hits us on the way in, which it could have, 90 minutes in, 90 minutes out, his family's going to miss him as much as they'd miss us. Yeah. So you're kind of, how about the intel people that found bin Laden and worked, 7 days a week, 20 hours a day for decades or whatever to find this asshole? And it's insulting to I mean, I was smart enough to carry a sledgehammer, and I went in the door and went up some stairs and shot a tall guy. So my job wasn't that hard. It was just a long flight.
I was going to ask you about, I don't know if you could even answer this, but when you said that the pictures haven't been released and you're like, I wish they would be released. What I've always read, and once again, I don't know what you could say, is that basically, like, bin Laden's corpse was shot up so much that they had to dump it to sea because it would have been looked at as like a war crimes thing.
I mean, I shot him up close with 77 grain hollow points. I'm pretty sure those are legal, but don't bring that up. But no, here's something else too. Here's something else I was considering with the rounds we carried and potentially stuff that we took off target and brought it home. I think he can do that because that wasn't a war mission. We were not at war with Pakistan. We went into Pakistan under a different title than we fought under Afghanistan. So I think it's not a war thing, but
people said it would have looked gratuitous.
I mean, after I got done with him, I split him from the tip of his nose. Like, I had to hold his head together for the picture that we took. Those, so if they do get released, those are my gloves that I have right behind me, by the way.
Holy shit, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, that's the picture, and they dumped him at sea. And I was against that because now not all senior leaders, like Admiral Bill McRaven led the mission, sold it, and he is just cream of the crop, man. He's everything that looks and sounds like an admiral to is an admiral to, just cool as shit to awesome dude. But the powers that be, when they said, yeah, we're going to bury him at sea. And I remember asking why, and they said, well, we don't want a shrine. And I said, well, that's not Sunni Islam, especially not the Wahhabis like bin Laden, because they get a lot of the not all Muslims, but a lot of Muslims get pissed off when you draw Muhammad. And the reason that is,
and by pissed off, you mean like literally kill people.
Yeah, but I mean that would be worshiping the prophet, and not, there's one God, it's Allah. And if you're depicting your whatever. So no, they weren't going to put up a shrine because that would be their version of blasphemy, I guess. You don't worship that. Plus, I think Pakistan should have kept that house open because I'd probably go back as a tourist.
I should smart. That would have been. And
they were pretty embarrassed.
Tell me if you can. And I wanted to hear. I don't know how much you can say, but the helicopter crash you mentioned, and that always, because that was, to me, that was like the key point right there when it went down. I mean, the mission could have went to shit, and how you guys held it together. I mean, a helicopter crash and going down right before shit started.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that and just how you guys held it together? Because to me, that would have, as a fellow whatever Ranger, soldier, SEAL,
Yeah.
as a fellow serviceman, that's what got me. Like, man, I want to know about that. How did they? What did they go through? And training kicks in, yes, yada yada yada. But mentally, what were you thinking, man?
Well, I got lucky because I didn't know it crashed until I got inside the inside the walls.
So you couldn't where you guys were that far enough behind that you couldn't see it come in, or you couldn't see it.
Well, we were both on final. The plan was to fast rope -1 in front of the main house, and then we were gonna put some of my guys out, like the sniper, interpreter, dog, and then my team was gonna go up to the roof, fast rope there, jump into the thing, and then we're gonna meet
you're gonna
top to bottom.
Yeah.
So we didn't know. We just when we well, I mean, and before that, during planning, like we were thinking of contingencies. We thought of, what if 1 car, 2 car, what if they go this way? That's a dead end. All this bullshit. And then one night, one of the bosses said, "All right, what's the worst thing that could happen?" And the youngest guy in the room said, "The helicopter could crash in the front yard." I'm like, what the fuck, dude? What?
Yeah. Why say that?
Why did you bring? It's like, just don't roll a 7.
Holy shit!
So we dropped the guys out, the small handful of dudes. We were heading back up, and our pilot saw the other pilot. The first pilot he crash landed it because there was a weird updraft. I think it was hotter than we'd planned, so he's not getting the lift, and he knew. We're lucky we had TF-160, man. I think we had the best 60 pilots in the fucking world. I know it. And he knew if he spun it and if he could put the tail on the wall, because it's like a 12-foot high mud wall, and pin the nose, he might not kill everybody. He said a less experienced pilot would have powered up, flipped it, everyone's dead. So he did that. We set our guys out. As we came up, our pilot saw him do that and figured, fuck it, I can't hold the hover either. So he went back down, and basically he's just telling us, get out. And I remember stepping out of the bird, I'm looking over the wall at the 3-story house. I'm like, fuck it, I guess we start the war from here. But because we knew where everything was, we put a charge on the northeast corner, 7-foot charge of C6, blasted it, and that's like a master key. It blasted it, but there's a brick wall behind it. So the breacher said, fail breach. This is bad. And I said, no, this is good. That's a fake door, and nobody does that. He's in there. So then we knew the carport would open because we'd seen him on Intel driving in and out. So I just announced kind of, hey, this is so-and-so, and I'm going to blast the carport. And they said, no, don't blow it. We'll open it. And the door opened, and a glove came out with a thumb that I recognized. I'm like, all right, how in the world are they? Okay, doesn't matter. And that's one of the points in life too. Like when I talk to football teams, especially the offense, I'll say, it doesn't matter why it's 2nd and 15, guys. It just is.
Yeah.
What do we do now? Like, talking about this shit's not going to help. What do we do now? So they opened the door, and I still didn't realize it crashed. And I walked past 2 pilots and an aircrew guy, right? They're standing there. They're wearing a different uniform, but they have American flags on. I remember walking past going, who the fuck are these guys? I was like, are these ground branch? Are they here? Okay, whatever. Again, I don't know. So we go in the thing in the main house. We're in the 1st floor, and I'm watching dudes work a hallway, and I'm like shining IR lights up looking for thermal barrel charges. Like, he's going to blow himself up. Like, I got to be here. As I'm doing that, a dude next to me goes, helicopter crashed. And I said, what helicopter crashed? He goes, bro, our helicopter crashed, right? I think you walked right past it. I'm like, fuck, I must have been looking this way. And then as we're doing that, the sniper had the dog, and Cheese, who wrote a book about Cairo the dog called No Ordinary Dog, which is incredible. That dog was amazing. They're going to do 2 racetracks around the whole compound.
Wow.
And he got to that point where the tail was, and he didn't know they crashed either. And he came over the radio and said, so I'm inside listening to this over comms. And he said, hey guys inside, be on alert because they're ready for us. They have a training mock-up of our super secret helicopter in the front yard. And there's a weird pause. And the ground force commander goes, no, jackass, that's ours. We crashed. And the sniper goes, yeah, that makes a lot more sense than the shit I was just saying. Carry on. So that's how the helicopter went down.
People have no idea how much jackassery goes on. It's just the
darkness brings out the humor. It's so awesome to watch.
So funny. Holy shit.
Because dude, I mean, literally you can hear dudes laughing. We had one when Halo first came out. And that voice was because everyone plays Halo. Rangers, by the way, are the best Halo players in the fucking world.
Wait, I could not beat Josh Garrison, best Ranger. I fucking crushed my ass all the time.
I got destroyed because we'd have the B huts connected, like SEALs versus Rangers. No, kicked our every time. Those guys are good. But we were on a target one time, and our EOD guy, our explosive guy, he got off to like this is a different, way different target, and he's off to one side. He's going to hold security on this wall, and these three terrorists, they pop up like they're sleeping outside. So he goes bat bat bat, and he comes over comms and goes, gain the lead. It's like, fuck, dude.
That's so,
Like dudes are
so,
tripping. They're laughing so hard.
dude, that is, and how you have to be, it'd be so quick just to think of that shit
Yeah,
too, right
that, what's so fast? It's got to be a game. Gain the lead. I'm winning. I think he won that night.
Yeah, he wins. He definitely wins that round. Definitely. I think.
But there's something about like watching a monster with a gun and your buddy's name below it, and you know you're about to come behind him and just stroke him.
And you just go shh, like when you stab him.
Well, then teabag him, obviously.
Go to sleep. Always got the teabag, and for real too, when they were just in the game room passed out. Not that I ever teabagged.
I thought you were saying on target. Yeah. We definitely can't talk about that. No. A bunch of Marines got in trouble for peeing on Taliban, which I still don't have a problem with. That's just me.
What I didn't. When did that happen? Did we talk about that?
Many years ago.
Many years ago. Yeah. Well, I mean, the issue.
This is way long before we ever did a podcast.
Who didn't pee on the Taliban though?
Well, that's what I'm saying. But there's a difference between peeing on the Taliban and filming yourself peeing on the Taliban.
That's the thing, man. I feel like military have really screwed themselves with some of the stuff that they've recorded. Truthfully, right?
Don't record it. It's look. I mean, people always say, "Where's the footage?" From the Bin Laden raid? I'm like, none of us carried a camera. They said, why? I'm like, because I don't need some jackass at the Pentagon Monday morning court. You just trust me that justice was served. I'm not going to show it to you.
Yeah, I agree. It's
like body cams on cops, man. Cops are so hamstrung right now.
It's kind of well said. Yeah, there's certain stuff, like I think there's certain positions people have, including military, where you probably shouldn't be on social media if you're active duty, unless it's just you out with your girlfriend or something. Not anything that's like remotely confidential or even controversial.
Yeah. Well, I got Twitter in the Navy. My buddy said, try this Twitter thing because it's hilarious. No one knows who you are, and you can just talk mad shit. I'm like, cool. And he goes, just pick a fake name. And I went, let's see. Speaking of St. Patty's Day, I'm a Mick, and we say Hooyah. Mick Hooyah. That's how I got Mick Hooyah is my stupid name. And so I had 7 followers. The next day I woke up with 15,000 because someone leaked my name. I'm like, what the fuck?
Was that from the article? Because for people who don't know, actually, this kind of ties into what I was saying about, talking about the video with you. Is I always feel like there's a line, but that you don't cross between what you're going to say on a podcast or in public. And yeah, I mean, someone crossed that line for you right when you came out, basically, when you made an off-color joke about Delta Force, and they wrote it but they wrote it as if you were being completely serious, and it was off the record. And it's like, you don't do that.
Dudes. I was with dudes we were drinking in a hotel room. We're at the Ritz-Carlton of Pentagon City. I'm with Rangers. I got a Delta guy there, another Navy SEAL, and some chick was recording it. And then I heard it on CNN. I'm like, Jesus Christ. Like Delta Force is Delta Force, man. It's a joke. God.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just these people who work in media who don't even get the branch rivalry and how you guys talk, and to have it as a headline that you said something serious. But yeah, wait, so when did your name leak that quickly that your Twitter following blew up? Was that the first article you wrote? Or
yeah, I didn't even write an article. That was I was doing.
You were interviewed for one, right? For Esquire.
Yes, I did, and that was another one too, where they made me look like a whiny bitch because of the cover.
I remember that, yes. Where you said you didn't have health care or something, right?
I was making a point that if you don't retire, you don't get health care, and maybe we should look into that. Like, because a lot of these guys have been fighting, I have 17 years, not 20, but can you give me 3 months for my kids to have health care before I get a job? I don't even know how to get a job out there. I'd rather go to combat than fill out an application for work. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing too. And like, I mean, the guys that are involved in the fight, they don't give a shit. And even one guy said, man, if I see you, I'm going to knock you out. I'm like, I probably deserve it. That's fine. But I wasn't. Look, I'm going to let you in a little secret. Delta Force does not suck. They're fucking incredible. Like, that's not what I literally beers and talking and this off the record. Yeah. So that's on the record.
And the point you were making was actually an important point, because the even greater level of that, I don't know if you had a relationship with Glenn Doherty and Ty Woods, but I mean, in Chris's situation, when Glenn Doherty died, they wouldn't pay off his life insurance because he wasn't married. So a lot of contractors, military guys get screwed over signing contracts that they don't understand and are made to not understand.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I mean, because they know a lot of guys like Tonto and me, will bitch, but we won't complain enough, so they can fuck the veterans over.
And bitch is just part of the game. That's what
bitching's good.
Bitch to each other.
Nobody wants a complainer, but bitching, I bitch all the time.
That's it. And we're not, when we see it. Can I go to work? I need to sign this to go to work, right? Okay, sign. And I'm not reading that shit. And we had guys that did want to take it to, like, can I take it to an attorney? No, the CI. Well, and I trusted the Rangers. I did, and honestly, I thought they did us right. With agency, of course they did. Of course,
I heard a story too. Just because another thing that bothers me too is a lot of veterans want to fuck other veterans over. That makes no sense to me. But one of my buddies who was at GB, he was a SEAL, and he said, "Why don't we have more SEALs here?" And he said, "Because every time we hand an application from a SEAL to another SEAL, go, oh, this guy sucks. Oh, this guy sucks." It's like, thanks, because I mean, but like at SEAL Team 6. That wasn't the case. I'm sure Ranger Battalion, that's not the case. Like we're there for each other, but I mean, one of the biggest, not one of the, I make a lot of mistakes. I probably made a bunch today, but we're too trusting getting out. Like a lot of these you'll hear veterans say, well, we got this dinner at this rich guy's house. It's going to be great. It's like, no, he's bringing you there for free. He might buy you a steak. He wants to hear your story and you're never going to hear from him again.
Yeah.
That's how it is.